Now we're here with Resa Nelson, author of The Dragon Slayer's Sword and Our Lady Absolute. Resa, can you please tell us about your target audience? Like, who are you writing for?
Quite honestly, I write for myself. What I do is that I write books that I want to read. So my intent is to write for adults, but what I've been told by bookstore managers is that my books are appropriate for ages 14 and up. So what I found is that my audience is pretty split. It's split pretty much evenly between adults and teenagers.
That's great. And which book would you like to talk about first? Do you want to give us just a teaser as to why someone should pick up these books?
Sure. I'll talk about The Dragon Slayer's Sword first. It's about a woman who's a blacksmith who makes swords for dragon slayers. And what I do is that I write about women who are strong and courageous and intelligent. And so my mission as a writer is that I want to put out really positive images of women in books. And what I find is that my readers tell me that those are really hard to find, so that really makes me redouble my efforts to make sure that I do that. But when I do that, I also make sure that there's a balance, so that if I have heroic women, there are also heroic men. And if there are villainous men, there are also villainous women.
Right. And how does your books, how do they tie into steampunk?
Well, what I've heard is that a lot of people who are interested in steampunk are also interested in fantasy and science fiction. And with Our Lady of the Absolute, there is almost like a tiny little thread of a connection to steampunk, and it's something that you don't really realize until toward the end of the novel. But there is a tiny little bit of a connection there.
And how did you get started writing? Did you go to school for this, or is it just a hobby that really developed into something more?
I started writing fiction when I was in grade school, and so I knew really early on that I wanted to be a novelist. And what happened was that I started out in a different field, and I stopped writing for a while, but writing always comes back to me and always kind of knocks on my door and bangs on the door and says, you know, you have to write fiction now. So whatever I'm doing in life, I always write fiction.
Right, that's great. And will you be here all weekend at your table here?
I will be, yeah, the whole weekend.
All right, great. Well, then you guys should come by and say hi. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.